All right, welcome back as we continue our discussion on the Steelers. A very impressive second half to win today. They're 1-0 coming home to the Raiders, who got to play on Monday night, short week against the Ravens, and then come to Pittsburgh. So that should line up for the Steelers. Andrew, I want to talk about this defense, specifically Cam Sutton was all over the place. Twice on fourth down he made plays. The biggest one, I thought, was the thing that really started this whole rally. There was 10-6, 4th and 1, a terrible play design by Buffalo. He diagnosed it. They then score, and then they get the block punt. How big was Cam Sutton? And was he the most impressive, aside from T.J. Watt? He and Cam Hayward, I thought, were very good early on, and the list goes on and on. But where was he on your list?
He was behind Melvin Ingram, who I think, look, forever and ever we've talked about James Ferrier as the Steelers' greatest free agent signing, and he is, and he probably will be, because he was a leader of that team. He was a starting inside linebacker. He led the team in tackles for so many years. But strictly speaking, from a bang-for-your-buck value standpoint, they got a guy that, when he's healthy, is probably one of the 20 best pass rushers in the NFL. There was a reason why for so long, whenever the Steelers would play the Chargers, the first thing you'd think about, other than Phillip Rivers, throwing interceptions and not swearing, would be, you got to be able to manage Bosa and Ingram, that 1-2 punch. And now the Steelers got the guy, and to me, for as crazy and as spectacular as Watt and Hayward maybe looked up front, I thought Ingram stole the show as well. What a great under-the-radar signing by the Steelers.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Andrew. And really the bottom line for the Steelers defense in this game, Buffalo's going to throw 80% of the time. It's what they do. There's no mystery there. And the Steelers didn't really blitz much. They just brought 4 all game. And Buffalo, which has an above-average offensive line, could not block them. There were holding penalties all game, which really kept the Steelers in the game in the first half. Highsmith was good. Watt obviously was outstanding. Ingram, those guys off the edge weren't blockable. And they were, Josh Allen looked pretty ordinary, I thought, in this game, probably because of the pressure they put on more than anyone else. And, Bob, you mentioned Cam Hayward. Man, was he good, especially with Tua out. They need him to be a presence. He was living in the backfield all game. He batted down a pass. He had a sack. I thought he was outstanding today.
I mean, I know you guys talked about Cam Sutton, but here's a guy who assumed that he was going to go and be the outside with Joe the whole time, and problem was they couldn't find anybody to replace him or Mike Hilton. So now he's basically just going. He's basically the guy where they say, hey, just go over here. No, go over there. No, go over here. To be fair to him, look, some quarterbacks, when they make that transition, when they think they're going to be the outside guy, they develop egos and they think, oh, no, I'm an outside guy now. And Cam's like, I worked my butt off to get that money and to get that shot. And instead, the way that he is attacked, sort of being this jackknife for the secondary, is impressive. And look, he's the guy that I'm not saying he's going to be one of the best DBs in the league, but he's the guy that certainly is going to make you, if you can't throw to Hayden and you can't throw to where Cam Sutton's at, you're running out of options if you're the opponent. So I was really impressed with what he's done today.
All right, let me do some quick hitters with you guys. Andrew, back to you on this one, the AFC North. The Ravens are going to play tomorrow, but they are extremely beset with injury. You saw the Browns lose today, although that's a tough game and a tough place to play. Cincinnati wins, Joe Burrow. So I never thought at any point of the season I'd say Cincinnati would be ahead of Cleveland in the division, but they are. What's your takeaway from the AFC North? I know it's 1 week, but your conclusion so far?
Joe Burrow looked like Joe Namath or Joe Montana. He was excellent, and I watched a lot of that game. Jamar Chase, who couldn't catch a football, he had Ike Taylor hands in the preseason, and he caught a long touchdown pass. They rekindled that LSU magic today. He could be, with all due respect to Roethlisberger and the veteran savvy I talked about earlier, I honestly think Burrow is going to be the best quarterback in the division this year. And if the Bengals' offensive line gets him killed, well, then that'll level the playing field at the quarterback position. And I know their defense is a work in progress too, but I honestly think the second-year #1 pick quarterback in Cincinnati is the best pocket passer in the entire division, and we'll see how many wins it nets the Bengals. At the very least, Bob, they're going to be a very live 6-7 win team that puts a lot of fear in good teams this year.
Yeah, the Bengals are no pushover. I agree with you, and I think their defense is maybe a little better than people realize. But, my takeaway is still the Browns. I know they lost, but, boy, they gave the Chiefs everything they could handle today. I thought the Browns were the better team for most of that game until Mahomes just started doing Mahomes things in the second half. Sometimes the guy's just unstoppable. The Browns are really good. That offense is so balanced. Their offensive line has suddenly become so good in the last couple of years. It kind of feels like they might be the best team in the division, certainly with the easiest schedule. But these Pittsburgh-Cleveland games this season might be for the division. We haven't seen that in a really long time. with the Steelers and the Browns. But I feel like the Ravens, with all the injuries, with some of the question marks on their team, with Lamar Jackson's history against good defenses, I'm not so sure they're not the third best team in the division.
Josh, I was actually going to go the other way here. I mean, I think if any coaching staff in the league can absorb the losses that they, especially in the division, can absorb the losses that the Ravens have had, it's Harbaugh. I mean, and I think that, let's be honest, their offense is in a bit of a transition period where they're trying to get more dynamic down the field. So it wasn't going to, so they don't have to have Lamar and those guys run it 60 times a game. So I'm not ready to write them off by any stretch. I agree with Pony about Burrow. I love the guy. I think if he can stay healthy, if they can block for him, I think he's going to be special. To be honest with you, I think the Browns gave that game away today. I mean, I think in a weird way, the Steelers, you know, if we get down to a one-game difference at the end of the year, the Steelers stealing one, sort of. I mean, they definitely earned that victory, but you're down 10 points on the road against a really good team you don't expect to win. And then the Browns were up 12 at halftime, right? And even they responded. KC pulls close, and they pull away again. And then what? The punt, bad snap on the punt, and the game's over. I mean, that's one that I think the Browns are going to be regretting. But they do look every bit as good as advertised. I think it is still going to be tight at the top three of the division, and Pony's right about the Bengals. And I think they're going to be right there. I mean, they're going to be a spoiler week 16, 17 of the season. A
pain in the butt for a lot of teams. Real quick, I have 1 minute. We've got to stick to this time. Andrew, Aaron Rodgers benched. He's acting like a baby. Your thoughts about Aaron Rodgers?
Well, my thoughts there are that there was a franchise quarterback that threw 5 touchdown passes in that game, Bob, who should be right now the Steelers franchise quarterback in waiting.
I knew you
there, I used my allotted time.
Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. He might be one of the biggest jerks of all time, too. I have no tolerance for him anymore. I wonder what's going to happen there. This feels like a really bad divorce about to happen.
I mean, look, his ex-girlfriend, Olivia Munn, announced she was pregnant. Maybe that's messing with his head. I don't know. To be off topic, I think Justin Herbert and the Chargers might be the team in the AFC. I mean, they're really impressive today. They're going to get it going. That's the team that we should be talking about. So I don't want to play this back week 17 so I can look at how smart I was.
All right, when we come back, we're gonna switch it. Still football. Talking about Pitt, 2-0 now. 2-0. They go to Tennessee and they win. Tennessee's not that good, but they won at a very tough place to play. What does it mean for them? Where is their ceiling as we move forward in the ACC? We'll talk about that and more when we continue right here on the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown.